So, dann über ihre
Cora, I
Behandlungsfehler.
want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
Was für ein Fehler?
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Wer war
Who
er?
was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
Wieso nicht kündigen?
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Da hat er recht. Okay.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Also er gibt sogar zu, dass er halt einen Fehler gemacht hat, was ich persönlich gut finde. Aber traurig ist es auch, dass keiner bei ihm war zu besuchen. Das ist Dr. C, das ist Dr. Edward. Pipa? Nein, wir suchen jemand anderes, oder? Unbekannt? Nee.
They belong to you.
This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen.
Wo ist sie? Ah, nein, das ist Dorothy. Das ist unbekannt. Das ist auch unbekannt. Das ist unbekannt. Wie viele Ärzte gibt's denn hier? Auch unbekannt. Wo ist denn... Ah, da hinten ist sie.
I cannot enter.
Here again.
Sie ist hier. Okay. Hallihallo.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Leben über London. Wie ist die Lage
How
hier?
are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
Unsichtbarer Feind?
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Könnte das Krankenhaus versagen?
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
Das ist echt kacke. Erzähl
I'm not
mir
familiar
mehr.
with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Und jemand, der besonders hervorsticht? Machen wir einfach beides.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Ah, okay. Sprechen
Nurse
Sie.
Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No, I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Oh, irgendwie ist das schon niedlich. Persönliche Fragen? Tippens hat sie gelobt. Tippens Behandlungsfehler. Wir machen erstmal Tippens Behandlungsfehler.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reid. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippets in our situation?
Ich kann Ihr Handeln voll nachvollziehen. Sie haben nicht das Recht dazu. Sie haben ein großes Risiko auf sich genommen. Ich kann den Handeln nachvollziehen. Sie sind gerade in einer Epidemie und alles fällt auseinander. Es ist das einzige Krankenhaus. Wenn er gefeuert wäre, wäre alles noch stressiger. Aber sie hat auch einen ziemlich großen Risiko auf sich genommen. Aber theoretisch hat sie kein Recht dazu gehabt. Ich würde sagen, ich kann ihr Handeln nachvollziehen, würde ich jetzt auch... das ist so schwierig, aber ich kann ihr Handeln wirklich nachvollziehen. Aber sie hat auch einen riesigen... die würde, wenn das wirklich herauskommen sollte, würde sie auch gefeuert werden. Also werden beide, weil sie das mitvertuscht hat. Aber einerseits kann ich das wirklich nachvollziehen. Ich würde sagen, dass sie ein großes Risiko genommen hat, würde ich behaupten. Aber sie hat gleichzeitig auch kein Recht dazu, einfach das zu machen. Und ich glaube, dass sie auch in Tippens verknallt ist, dass die beiden irgendwie ineinander verknallt sind. Ich würde sagen, dass ich ihr Handeln nachvollziehen kann. Ja, sagen wir mal.
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the rules.
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippets.
Ja, okay. Tippens hat sie gelobt.
Why does Dr. Tippets claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippets does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Hä? Okay. Ich werde Dr. Tippens Fehler nicht preisgeben. Hä? Wie hat er sie jetzt gelobt? Aber ich werde Dr. Tippens nicht preisgeben. Machen wir mal.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippets. Shall we say, misdemeanor?
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippets is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippets must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Wie viel geschlagen? Was? Verloren. Die Qualität des Bluts vom Bürger wird großteils durch ihre Gesundheit und durch die Anzahl der Hinweise bestimmt, die du über sie sammelst, bevor sie aussaugt. Ich habe was verloren. Nein. Aber ich kann nicht. Ich kann ihn aussaugen. 1750. Ja. Das heißt, ich habe keine Hinweise. Warte mal.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Nein, 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 nein. Wo ist Dr. Tippens? Mitten? Nein, nein. Das ist unbekannt. Unbekannt. Sie ist aber schnell von da. Er muss doch irgendwo sich draußen aufhalten, oder nicht? Erschöpfung. Unbekannt? Wir können mit denen reden, okay. Pieper, unbekannt. Dorfi, unbekannt. Thomasin, unbekannt. Wo ist der? Das ist Dr. Dingson. Na super. Ich weiß nicht, wo der ist. Ist doch... Okay. Aber mit denen können wir gerade gar nicht reden. Aber ich will trotzdem zu Dr. Tippins. Das heißt, ich hätte noch die Entscheidung noch gar nicht treffen sollen.
So many deaths.
To you now.
The life.
Krankenschwester werden jetzt gebraucht. Im Namen der Barmherzigkeit, Sie verlassen sich auf Sie. Krankenschwester werden jetzt gebraucht. Melden Sie sich beim nächsten Registrierungsbüro des Ministerium für Arbeit und Wehrdienst und schreiben Sie am 15 King Waits, London.
This dead flesh needs it.
Da.
Spare me, dark.
Good evening, Dr. Tippins.
Dr. Reid, any good news to share?
Persönliche Fragen? Die sind erschöpft. Ah, das ist...
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
Sie müssen nichts beweisen. Schwester Gwynne macht sich Sorgen. Sie verhalten sich verantwortungslos. Theoretisch verhalten sie sich verantwortungslos, weil wenn er nicht schlafen legt, dann... Ja, wir sagen, er verhält sich
Your
verantwortungslos.
attitude is irresponsible, Doctor. Believe me, I've seen so many medical errors caused by exhaustion during the war.
You're right. This is a war, Dr. Reid. And I don't intend to surrender.
Das heißt, wir können nicht über den Verhandeln... Egal, dann ist es so.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippins.
Dann ist es so. Unbekannt? Wussten Sie nicht in der Öffentlichkeit. Verhindern Sie Ansteckungen. Unbeachtet Spucken, Schnauzen und Husten verbreiten die Grippe. Sie verbreiten sich durch Tropfen aus der Nase und Rachen. Husten nicht in der Öffentlichkeit. Okay. Hi. Was bist du denn für?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Ich weiß nicht, ob sie verrückt ist oder ob sie wirklich ein Vampir ist. Sie scheint aber sehr wenig geschlafen zu haben. Sehr wenig. Sie sind ein Vampirin?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Beschreiben Sie mir diesen Gefühl.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Haben Sie von Konrad-Syndrom gehört?
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Okay, sind Sie eine
I'm
Patientin?
assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Sie ist auf jeden Fall krank.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Wir kümmern uns
The
um
staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Das falsche Ziel, neue Untersuchung.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Okay, dann persönliche Fragen. Wer sind Sie wirklich? Ja.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Okay. Mein Gott, das arme Ding. Okay, das ist Erschöpfung. Ah, wir sollen ihn bestimmt behandeln. Hallo.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Ah, das ist der, okay. Ihr Leben in London. Wie gefällt es Ihnen bei uns?
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Was kann ich für Sie tun?
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Wer behandelt
Who is
Sie?
treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Oh, der Arme. Der Grund Ihrer Verletzungen.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Oh. Warum lügen?
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Die Chirurgen können Ihnen helfen. Schönheit ist nicht alles. Sie können sich nicht ewig verstecken. Schönheit ist wirklich nicht alles. Und die Chirurgie könnte wirklich helfen. Glaube ich. Weiß ich nicht. Aber der könnte sich nicht ewig verstecken. Oh mein Gott, das ist schwierig. Ich würde sagen, dass dass Schönheit nicht alles ist, würde ich sagen. Ja.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Fehlgeschlagen. Oh, ich hätte was anderes nehmen müssen. Oh. Was ist wirklich
Tell me
passiert?
what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Persönliche Fragen über Miss Hogwarts Krankheit. Haben Sie lange gedient?
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Okay, über Miss Hogwarts
How
Krankheit.
close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside, is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Oha. Sie lassen sich von ihr beißen? Ich hoffe
So do
nicht.
you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Sie ist psychisch gestört.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Ah, nee, das ist aber nicht gut.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Ah, toll. Oh, wir haben zwei. Oh. Hier, Nachtschicht, Hauptquest. Ah, ich hasse das. Warum? Hauptquest. Bring die Medizin zu Dorothy. Unterstütze Vampyr, hat für den Umgang mit der NPD. Ah, okay, jetzt habe ich zwei.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Leben in London. Sie war mit William Bishop versteckt.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Warum hat sie entführt?
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Horcroft.
Sind Sie ein Held oder ein Narr?
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Ja, kann man recht geben. Die Lage an East End Dock.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Wer führt jetzt die Gang an?
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Hat der Gang sie
Has the
bedroht?
gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Dann ist er auf jeden Fall immer geschützt. Über Tom Watts.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Verzweiflung?
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Korruption?
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Okay. Persönliche Fragen. Was machen Sie beruflich?
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Also ist er ein Priester. Sind Sie ein Priester?
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Das Kreuz ist gegen William Bishop einsetzen.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Okay. Wie fühlen Sie sich?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Schon Freunde gefunden?
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Okay. Das war's.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Er ist auf jeden Fall gesund.
It's locked.
Da können wir nicht rein. Die beiden reden miteinander. Okay, was wissen wir über die Leute? Mist, wenn wir was anderes genommen hätten, hätten wir noch ein Dingsen. Können wir die einfach so danach beißen? Das ist ja schlimm. Ja, da fehlt uns auch noch ein Hinweis. Da fehlt uns auch noch. Ja, okay. Das kommt wirklich darauf an, welche Antworten wir geben. Ja. Warte mal. Erfolgreich. Finde heraus, wer Thelma ausspioniert. Mission. Ja, okay. Ich will aber erst noch mit einreden. Mit denen haben wir noch nicht geredet. Die beiden haben wir schon geredet. Haben wir noch nicht. Ich will erst mal mit einreden.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Leben in London. Wie ist die Lage hier?
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Die Spaniengrippe wird nicht ewig andauern. Reißen Sie sich
You
zusammen.
must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Die spanische Grippe wird nicht ewig andauern.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Ach, das wird noch nicht. Wie lange sind die bereits Krankenschwester?
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Sie wären überrascht, Sie haben recht. Mir gefällt Ihre Einstellung nicht. Wir sagen, Sie wären überrascht.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Oh, wie kommt das Personal zurecht?
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Warum hat Milton so schlechte Laune?
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Oh, wieso gerade etwas gegen Ärzte?
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Okay. Warte, wir haben gerade ihr Leben in London? Ja, okay. Persönliche Fragen. Okay, da haben wir noch keine Hinweise.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Bei den Fragen so würde ich erstmal warten. Okay. Unbekannt. Reden wir mal mit ihm. Wer
Good
ist
evening,
er?
sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Oha, soll ich mich jetzt beleidigt fühlen? Ich muss mich... Ernsthaft? Haben Sie Probleme mit mir über Pembroke Hospital? Ich frage mal, ob die ein Problem mit mir
If you have a
haben.
problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Kein Grund für derartige Anfeindungen. Eifersüchtige Laien werden Ihnen nicht nützen. Sie sollten Ihren Tod verlängern. Also theoretisch, eifersüchtige Laien werden Ihnen nicht nützen. Also, aber es ist auch kein Grund für derartigen Anfeindungen. Nehmen wir das? Wir nehmen das einfach, oder? Wir nehmen das einfach.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Über das Pembroke Hospital.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Oh, okay. Warte mal, da brauchen wir mehr Hinweise. Persönliche Fragen. Ich habe mir als Arzt meine Sporen verdient. Schlechte Erinnerungen an Ihre Zeiten beim Militär. Wir haben schon als Arzt meine Sporen verdient, ja.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Ich habe viele Leben gerettet. Wissen Sie unsere wichtigste Waffe? Kein Grund, mich vor Ihnen recht zu fertigen. Ich habe Leben gerettet. Wir
This
haben
is
Leben
ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
Schlechte Erinnerungen an Ihre Zeiten beim Militär?
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Oh, Mann. Ah, das ist Dorothy, ne? Ja. Dann geben wir ihr gleich die Medizin.